West YouTube, it's your boy Big Ray West. You tuned in to GFG TV.
Yo, this is Tess-1, and you tuned in to GFG TV.
So, we are sitting here with Tess-1. Welcome to GFG TV. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me. What's up, world?
All right, so
You know my word's bond, because this is going to be out there, man.
Yeah.
So
we're just gonna wrap up.
you don't put that in.
The whole yeah. That's the behind the scenes part. So we'll just wrap up kind of the brief touch up that we've done with your family, and as we go, through here, we'll kind of, it'll bring out some more of that stuff. We'll wrap up. You grew up basically around a bunch of very large artists due to your father being a talented musician and being part of that circle and working on those labels. Your aunt, your sister, your brother, you guys are all in the music industry, in a certain form or fashion. Music is part of your blood.
Right, just expressing through music, some way or another. Yeah.
Definitely. So, do you remember the first song you ever recorded?
Yeah, it was called Rockin' Rhymes, and I did that at Triad Studios here in Des Moines. So it was like back in the early or mid 90s. And it was on Reel to Reel. The track was older than the time frame that we did it. So
Yeah,
and I did that with a dude named Funksational. We had a group called the Nocturnals.
Nocturnal.
Yeah, trying to get our stuff out
Hey,
there.
there you go. That's some history right there.
Yeah.
That's some local history. There you go. Hey, so, who are some of your favorite musicians of all time? I mean, did they connect back to those artists that you remember as a child?
Yeah, it's basically all the artists that I grew up listening to, like Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson, Prince, Donny Hathaway, man, the usual James Brown, the usual soulful type singer, from the 70s and 80s.
And do you think that connects to kind of the stuff that you would maybe say you're influenced in now by music? Do you think that controls a little bit, not necessarily controls, but influences what you make today? Or do you think that's just where you started in music?
Yeah, I think that's just where I started. I think the influence of that is still strong, because I do like try to make my music funky,
Yeah.
So
All right. So, what do you feel, that you bring to the local scene, not just now, but like all over the years, up till today? What do you think your evolution's been in your role here?
I think I have the ability to like merge different artists together that wouldn't normally work with each other, or introduce other artists to other artists, and then they get to working and create magic, for the city. And I think that's what it's all about. I've always been, about the unity part, and trying to build a community of different artists,
Definitely.
So, and then, I make music, beats, and I can help out that way as far as making a track for you or whatever.
There you go. And I know you've worked with quite a few artists around town. Just from what I've heard, definitely a talent. And that we worked together actually on your music video.
Yeah.
And that was a great time. It was fun. I really got to that was my introduction to you. Whereas I hadn't met you before.
Yeah, we met each other and didn't even know.
I actually wore this shirt today. TMC's Media. The shout out to a little bit of the past there. Again, it's been good, and on this side too, working with GFG, I'm super thankful that these guys brought me in to be able to come in here and have these cool conversations with you guys. When did you link up with Smoov G?
Smoov, yeah, that was like early 2000s, and I met him at work. Actually, we was both working at the same place, and I met him at lunch, and I was talking about how I was doing music. I actually had a tape, and I was listening to it, and then he told me that he, was making moves with Trespass, and I told him, I had a studio, because at the time, me and this guy named Catman, he's an English guy, rest in peace, Catman. We had a studio Child Fun Production studio, and you know, we were just getting started, and it was like $15 an hour, you know, to get some studio time. So I had Smoov come over to the studio after chopping it up with him, and we did a song called Blessing. And then ever since then, you know, we just been cool like that, you know. I get on something of his, he'll get on something of mine, and you know, finally we did an album called Last of a Rhyming Breed, and we dropped that on, it was February 29th of this year, 2020. We dropped that, and then we did a video like in June. We did the video with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of comes full circle, man.
Yep.
Again, it's why, and you know, I got to speak to you briefly on some of this stuff, and just, you know, again, learn a little bit about you during that time, and getting to actually kind of dig into that now. It sheds some more light on, you know, like why, you know, why you do the art, you know, why you create the art that you do. And I always look at it as that I'm an artist, and you know, music is a beautiful art to me, you know, and again, you know, not just one form of it, but you also, you know, you've gotten multiple influences over the years. You know, what would you say for you know, your top 5 hip hop albums?
Midnight Marauders, Tropical Quest, Illmatic. I have to put Illmatic in there. It's mostly East Coast influence, but the Chronic definitely. Dr. Dre, the Chronic. Long Live the King, Big Daddy King. Oh man, that last one.
The villain. Who gets the last spot there?
I'm gonna just have to say Gangstar.
So,
Yeah.
there you go.
Alright.
Now, you know, does that relate to some of your favorite producers of all time?
Definitely. My favorite producers would be Pete Rock, Primo, Dr. Dre, Diamond D, Large Professor. I mean, man, it's a lot. It's a big East Coast influence. You know?
Yeah. Which, you know, the hip hop side of things, from my memory, you know, was Big Pun. You know, and I think I spoke with somebody prior about that. Yeah, it was Brent. I spoke with Big Pun. And in but I was actually born in California, which is funny. So.
Oh yeah, what part of Cali was you?
Southern California. I was born in Apple Valley.
Because I lived in Cali too.
Yeah. Yep. I was born down in Apple Valley, and then ended up moving to the Midwest at a young age. Kind of bounced back and forth.
Yeah, that's
Vegas,
tough.
but still my original hip hop influence too. Just as a you know, a young kid that literally was living, you know, on a farm, and you know, it's hard to get that type, you know, get any type of, you know, of music in other than what you could get locally. And when I did finally make it to, you know, go to Best Buys and started ordering CDs online, Big Pun was a big one, you know, for me. So that's how, but it was East Coast, you know, on that side. But then it exposed me to the West Coast, like Exhibit and NWA and those things. You know, what does right now, you know, inspire you to create instrumentals? You know, where did that passion come from?
Just, I guess this is the one to be creative, you know. I mean, anything can inspire me, man. A sound, a memory, you know, a thought, you know, just a jingle, you know, a melody, you know, something. I might just be driving down the street and something just inspires me, man, and I have to go back and put it down, you know, and then just build off of that. It just snowballs, you know. But yeah, I mean, I sit down. Too, you know.
A lot of talent.
But man, there's a lot of talent in this city, in the state.
Yeah.
You know.
One person kind of doing it real big for Iowa right now in the battle rap stuff is Profilini.
Yeah.
Matt Hodges.
I just became friends with him on Facebook too.
Yeah, he's
so shout
originally
out.
from Waterloo. He's a hard-working dude. So, super hard-working.
West YouTube, this your boy Big Ray West. You tuned in to GFG TV.